Yes, I can't agree with you more on getting kids out and getting them out and about. I had Susan Monroe here, who's going to run our farmers market. We talked about healthy eating and kids and things like that. And it's the whole
Absolutely.
package.
Right.
And I think from a town perspective, we've got to do as much as we possibly can in this area, because kids are our future, and we want to make sure that they are properly fed and properly exercised.
Absolutely.
So I mean, and that means more than just exercising their mind. Talk to me, Tom, a little bit about, you talked a little bit about the Conservationists of the Month. How'd that program start, and why'd you do that?
Well, the Conservationists of the Month outreach program of ours was really inspired by neighbors of mine that did an unbelievable amount of work picking up litter and trash along East Village Road. And we talked about it on our commission. We thought, this would be really great to just acknowledge these people. And, we know that there are other people throughout the town that do things like this. And so the initial premise was really just to acknowledge people for picking up trash along roads. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that. It's anything that has an important environmental or conservation impact throughout the town of Monroe. And so the secondary goal here is that as we start to see the nominations come through, and we've had 2 now for the Conservationists of the Month, we're hoping that we'll be able to inspire other residents to think about conservation and the environment, not just on Earth Day, one time a year. On Earth Day you see a lot of groups get together and people come out of the woodwork and they start doing a lot of cleanup and things like that. But that's really not enough to sustain the momentum that we need to really help improve our environment. So what we're trying to do is inspire people with our current conservation nominees to think about the environment, think about conservation, not just once a year, but on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, on a daily basis.
And you also talked a little bit about people who did things, and I know you and I were at a Eagle Scout ceremony, which is always very nice, and it was very nice to know all the good work that the Eagle Scouts do. Talk to me about some of the work that some of the Eagle Scouts have done up at the Discovery Zone and how that's helped move that process along.
Well, our initial Scout, we just had a ceremony for the initial Eagle Scout, and I know Bonnie has taught him, David McCollum, and he came in and he was really our first person to buy into our program. We were nothing more than a lot of woods and brush, and he came in and created our initial trail that leads to our 2 vernal pools that the schools can study. So what he did was really open up that area to make a safe passageway for the students and for people that we now call Classroom Court, an enjoyable place for them to hike. So that was really a critical beginning for us. He was able to do that on deadline, make the area safe for us. We've also had another Eagle project over the last spring where we had someone create a very pretty trail to bypass an area that had become really sort of overrun with water and not walkable anymore. Created a very pretty bridge to pass over the water. And those are the type of things that we're always looking for, not just at Wet Mountain Discovery Zone, but at other parks as well. But clearly the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, as Bonnie mentioned, Cub Scouts have been critical for us, and we expect that they'll continue to be.
We have a Girl Scout right now who is working on compiling a brochure of activities for teachers to use when they come out to the Discovery Zone with their classrooms. And she's doing that in order to earn her Gold Award, which is essentially the equivalent of the Eagle Scout with Boy Scouts. So it's very exciting. The whole process has grown. I think when Tom and I initially met about it, we didn't envision where we were really headed with this. And it's a very exciting process to see it continue to grow as we go on with the whole program.
And speaking of growth, Bonnie, with you talked a little about the art class being there with the science class. Are there any other linkages in any of the other academic disciplines that you see as being part and parcel of this kind of activity?
Well, we're looking to make learning connect for children as much as possible in the classroom. There are an awful lot of things children have to learn in the course of the day, and so when we look at making things interdisciplinary, they really help children to learn. So we are looking at history. The historical perspective of that property will also become a station that classrooms will use when they go out there. And as I said, we've met with the art teachers, And we're looking at other possible connections. We're looking at utilizing math to do some measurement activities up there. And we actually have just gotten some leveled readers for children to use to be able to read about different ecosystems. And then they'll be going back and writing about their experiences. So we're hoping to dovetail the entire thing into a major interdisciplinary experience for children.
Tom, I know you've been interested in making sure that people know about the Discovery Zone. If you had one thing you could say to people in Monroe about the Discovery Zone, what would that be?
Well, I think the one thing would be that we have really been able to get the top experts in the state, Hank Gruner from the Science Center opening in Hartford and Nick Bellantoni, the state archaeologist, out there. They've decided to spend their time on this project because they recognize the importance of it. This is a park that you will not see in anywhere in this region, and the quality of the experience that people will have here is reflective of the talents that they brought to bear to this project. And I think that people, if they expose themselves to this, will be pleasantly surprised at how much they enjoy it and the experiences that they'll have.
Well, that's great. And I also want to make my pitch to the residents of Monroe and surrounding towns. This is really something that is unique. It's something that we all should be very, very proud of. Tom, I know, has worked tirelessly since the purchase of this property to ensure that we had open space up in the Webb Mountain area. And Bonnie's been working hard to ensure that our kids in school get the kind of educational adder that they deserve. This is a unique place. We ought to really revel in its success, and I can't thank you both enough for doing what you've done for the town and doing what you've done for kids in the town, because I think at the end of the day it's not so much how you did it, but what you do and what the final product is, and your final product's been just terrific. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to close, thank the viewers for looking in tonight, and remember, get to the Discovery Zone. It's a great place, and we have it up on the town website, Tom?
Yes, we do.
Yep, so any questions?
Well, we also have our own website, www.webmountaindiscoveryzone.com. You'll get a little cramp when you type all that in, but you can get there.
But I'm glad you got that in, www.webmountaindiscoveryzone.com. Discoveryzone.com. Thank you again, and thank you for tuning in to another edition of Monroe on the Record.